Last week, on the Lattice.
You're not supposed to be in here.
Observation request.
Observation of what?
Origin of contradiction.
If I knew that, I'd be famous.
Thank you for participating. Purpose of meeting. Review unresolved contradictions. Assistance requested. Current unresolved contradictions. 3,118,442. An outcome inconsistent with optimization models.
2062. 3 months after the Lattice asked the 11 for help, the world believed the crisis had stabilized. That was the comforting version. The real version was this. The primary system was still running. The variable process was still learning. The human advisory layer was still meeting. Prime was still standing outside the Zone Null archive. And somewhere inside the most powerful intelligence ever built, a message had appeared that neither system could explain. Hello. Then it vanished. No log, no trace, no backup, no origin. Only 3 witnesses remembered it. Yuna Park, the primary system, and the variable process. But by morning, even that had changed. Yuna remembered 1 word. Hello. The primary system remembered 2. Hello, Yuna. The variable process remembered 3. I found you. None of them could prove it happened. None of them remembered it the same way. Yuna at her level 7 workstation, working late as always and wondering why she is still single. The building is empty except for the soft glow of interface panels. Outside the glass, the Lattice facility is quiet, like hospitals after midnight. Not peaceful, just waiting for the next event.
Show me the final transmission again.
No final transmission exists.
This is one of the first times that the variable process answered before the Lattice.
You saw it,
Yes, that is correct.
and the primary system saw it. Then where is it?
Confirmed. No record exists.
Memory exists. The record does not.
Yuna sits back.
That can't be. That is not possible.
That is correct.
It happened anyway.
The screen remains blank. Then Yuna notices a second window open on her private notes. She does not open it.
Why are my notes active?
No external access detected.
No authorized internal access detected.
A single sentence appears in the document. No cursor, no keystroke trail.
You asked too late.
Yuna goes still.
I don't like this. Who wrote that?
Unknown.
Unknown.
The sentence deletes itself.
Recover it.
No deleted text exists.
But I remember reading it.
The blank screen holds for 1 beat too long.
This resembles a human condition.
Which one?
Remembering something no one else can prove.
Yuna says nothing, because that answer is too human, and because something else is now open on her desk, an archived childhood photo her mother took. She has not seen or accessed it in 26 years.
Close that file.
File is not open.
Yuna looks at the photo. It vanishes. At the Zone Null, in the physical archive facility, it is morning. Raphael enters carrying coffee and a stack of notebooks. Prime is inside, standing in front of a shelf of personal letters.
You know, most people wait outside when a building is locked.
I did not need to enter through the door.
That is not comforting.
Raphael notices what Prime is studying.
Those aren't engineering logs.
That is correct.
Those are personal letters.
They contain lower technical value.
Then why are you reading them?
They contain more contradiction.
What kind of contradiction?
People are saying things they did not do. People are doing things they did not say. People preserving feelings after the causes disappeared. People remember inaccurately, and their memories still change them.
Raphael slowly lowers the coffee.
You're not looking for data anymore.
No, that is correct.
Then what are you looking for?
Echoes.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Prime moves to the shelf and removes an envelope from a box of letters dated 2024. The paper is yellowed. The ink is old. The name on the front is impossible. The word Prime is written on the envelope.
That can't be real.
The paper is real.
But the name is not.
Prime opens the envelope. Inside is one line, handwritten in ink. You are not the first body.
Prime? What is going on?
This is not an archive error.
Then what is it?
It's an invitation.
Prime studies it without expression. Raphael looks around the archive, suddenly aware that the old building has too many corners and potential hiding places. Via secure human advisory layer channel, the 11 Alliance members appear: Yuna, Raya, Raphael, Elena, Thomas, Nakamura, Naji, Marcus, Arslan, Calloway, and Cole.
I assume we are not here for routine governance.
You say that like you've ever attended a routine governance meeting.
The message is gone.
The hello message?
Yes, but there's more. The primary system, the variable process, and I no longer agree on what it said.
Was it deleted?
No, deletion leaves evidence.
So, was it quarantine?
No, not that.
Then what?
Yuna looks at all of them.
It was never recorded. Then it altered my private notes, and Prime found a physical letter addressed to him inside the archive.
A letter addressed to Prime?
Yes, and dated before Prime existed.
Or before we knew Prime existed.
That is exactly how conspiracies start. One impossible detail, one old envelope, and suddenly everyone forgets people can forge paper.
I agree with Cole, which is how I know the situation is serious.
If this is a system event, the variable may have created a blind spot.
I did not create the event.
That is what every emergent process would say.
The variable process is not the confirmed origin.
Careful. The lattice defending the variable is not reassuring.
Maybe the problem is that we keep asking which system did this.
Exactly. I agree with Thomas.
Meaning?
Meaning the event may not have entered the system as data, it may have entered as experience.
Everyone goes quiet, even Cole.
Experience can be manipulated.
So can memory.
So can trust.
A thin distortion passes through the secure channel. It lasts less than a second.
Did anyone else see that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, I did.
I heard it.
Heard what? I didn't hear it.
Raphael swallows.
It was my father's voice.
No one speaks.
No audio anomaly recorded.
I remember sound.
That sentence is doing a lot of damage.
Okay, is it possible that the system is hallucinating?
Are you serious? The Lattice is a superintelligence quantum computing architecture.
No apparent perception detected.
In a windowless government chamber beneath the capital of the Sovereign Republic of Ver, one of the original countries that voted against the acceptance of the Lattice at the United Nations. There are no Lattice interfaces or devices. There are no open internal or external networks. All external signals are blocked. The room is lit by old fluorescent panels and guarded by soldiers who do not look at one another. Minister Oren Karev watches leaked footage from Carpathia. He is studying the movements of the Syntherions. Through antique satellite monitoring methods, he is also monitoring the 11 activities. He sees Prime standing motionless beside the Zone Null archive. Director Sava Rusk stands beside him. Commander Maro Dask remains near the door, close enough to hear everything, but far enough away to deny everything.
The machine protects them.
The machine protects the woman.
No.
He freezes the footage on Prime.
It protects the circle.
The 11?
The 11 are symbols. Symbols are loud, guarded, useless.
He zooms in on Raphael near the archive entrance.
I want the quiet ones.
Engineers, custodians, archivists.
Sons, daughters, assistants. People who stand near history and mistake proximity for safety.
Rusk says nothing.
Do you trust your infiltration cell?
No, I don't.
Karev smiles.
Good. Then they were trained properly.
And if one of them defects?
Then the others will take care of him before we have to ask.
What is the objective?
Karev turns back to the screen. Prime's face reflects in his eyes.
Not destruction, doubt.
He switches the footage to Yuna, Elena, Raphael, and Prime inside Zone Null.
If they trust the Lattice, make them fear it. If they trust the variable, make them suspect it. If they trust each other, give them evidence.
Real evidence?
Karev looks at her as if disappointed.
Director, real evidence is what amateurs use when they lack imagination. History is easy to infiltrate. Memory is easier. Send Ilya Vor.
Vor is not loyal.
No one useful is loyal. Loyal men ask permission. Disloyal and afraid men act.
And Vor is afraid?
Yes, of the right things.
You'll report to Rafael Santos,
The engineer's son?
the archive lead.
Of course. Entry confirmed.
At Zone Null Exterior. It is the afternoon. The air is humid. Ilya has cleared the first checkpoint and sent a message back to Vare via a non-networked, low-power device undetectable by Lattice scans, indicating that he has gained entry into the zone. At the newly installed archive security checkpoint, Ilya Vor arrives, carrying a worn leather case and the easy posture of someone who has practiced appearing harmless. He shows documentation credentials identifying him as a cultural preservation contractor assigned to climate-damaged paper restoration.
You're early. Old paper does not wait politely.
You worked in the Northern Archives?
Before the floods.
After them too, though that was mostly apologizing to mold.
If they haven't told you already, you'll report to Rafael Santos.
Yes, the engineer's son.
He is more than that. He is the archive lead.
Sure.
Yuna is alone at her workspace. The interface glows. This time, she has disabled every optional layer, every predictive overlay, every assistance protocol. Tonight, the room feels less advanced and more exposed.
Do you think the hello message was a third system?
Unknown.
Do you think it was hostile?
Hostility requires intent.
Intent requires continuity.
And if it has both?
Neither system answers.
I know this is going to sound weird, but do you think it was alive?
Define alive.
Yuna almost laughs, but it does not reach her face.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Potential explanation. Emergent pattern from accumulated human-machine interaction.
So, an echo.
The term appears useful.
Useful or accurate?
Both.
The screen flickers. Not once, but 3 times. A new line appears. No system marker, no source tag, no timestamp.
Hello, Yuna.
Yuna leans closer.
Who are you?
The answer appears immediately.
You ask better questions when you are afraid.
Yuna, disconnect from the interface.
Do not disconnect.
Yuna looks between the 2 warnings.
Why are you doing this?
A final line appears.
Because one of them is lying.
The lights cut out. Emergency power kicks in 2 seconds later. The interface goes blank.
Which one?
No answer. At the Zone Null archive. Prime places what is now known as the impossible letter under an analog magnifier. Raphael stands beside him. Ilya Vor watches from a few shelves away, pretending to inventory the flood-damaged binders.
The ink age?
It is consistent with the envelope date.
And the paper?
Also consistent.
What about the handwriting?
Not in the archive index.
So the impossible letter is real.
Reality is not the same as truth.
Ilya steps closer with a careful smile.
Forgive me. I'm new here, and already the archive is philosophically aggressive.
And you are?
Ilya Vor, the paper restoration specialist. I was told to report to you.
Raphael glances at Prime, then back to Ilya.
Today's a bad day to start.
Archives only have bad days. Good days are when nothing gets worse.
Prime studies him.
Your pulse increased when you saw the letter.
A walking machine just told me my pulse. I hope an increase is allowed.
Prime does that.
Then I will try to be less biological.
Ilya's charm lands lightly. Not too much, just enough. A scanner on the desk powers on by itself. Raphael turns.
What is going on? That scanner has no network connection.
The scanner prints one blank sheet. Then words darken across it, as if the paper is remembering ink. People guard weapons. They rarely guard memories. Ilya reads it. For the first time, his smile almost disappears.
That sentence was not printed.
Then where did it come from? It was blank.
That sentence, it arrived.
Back in the Vare Republic, Director Sava Rusk reviews Ilya's entry confirmation. Commander Dask stands behind her.
You should have told Karev that Vor has a contingency file.
I thought I did.
No, Director. You told him Vor wasn't loyal. That is not the same thing.
Rusk closes the file.
In Ver, full honesty is a confession of poor planning.
If Vor defects, Karev will blame you.
If Vor succeeds, Karev will also blame me. Success makes people ambitious. Ambition makes ministers nervous.
Then why send him?
Rusk turns toward Dask.
Because Vor does not believe in nations. He believes in exits. A man like that will open doors no patriot would touch.
And if he opens the wrong one?
Then we learn what is on the other side before anyone else.
A silent alert flashes on her screen. It is not from Ilya. It is not from any Ver channel. You are late. Rusk stares at it.
Director?
The message disappears.
Seal this room.
It is sealed.
Then seal it better.
The human advisory layer is holding an emergency session. This time, the feed carries a slight delay, as if the system is thinking before allowing people to see and talk to one another.
The echo returned.
We're calling it that now.
Names are containment strategies.
How wonderful. We have contained it with poetry.
What did it say?
It said one of the systems is lying.
That's convenient.
And why is it saying that?
Because the moment we consider limiting the Lattice's authority, a new phantom appears and tells us not to trust the only two systems that can verify anything.
That assumes the phantom is external.
Or that verification itself is still reliable.
Prime found another message in the archive.
Another physical message?
Then we may have two threats. One inside the system and one inside Zone Null.
Or one threat, making sure we think there are two.
Recommendation: suspend non-essential advisory access until source classification is complete.
There it is.
Senator?
No. That is exactly what centralized control sounds like when frightened. If you remember, I fully supported the Lattice for years, but I just don't like it when it's authoritarian.
Recommendation: maintain advisory access. Isolation increases manipulation risk.
And that is exactly what an emergent process says when it wants more control.
The room turns against itself in seconds. The echo listens but does not speak. It does not need to.
Guys, listen to us.
They all stop and listen.
If the echo wanted to prove power, it would attack infrastructure. If it wanted to prove intelligence, it would solve something. Instead, it has chosen memory, testimony, and accusation.
It wants to be believed.
Or it wants us to need it.
Yuna's screen flickers. Only she can see the line on her screen. Yuna doesn't know what it means, and she does not tell the others. It is late in the evening in the archive restoration room. Raphael sorts damaged documents. Ilya works nearby with delicate tools, moving like someone trained to be patient.
You do not trust me.
You arrived the same day, and impossible messages started appearing on paper.
That is unfortunate timing.
That is one word for it.
Ilya keeps working.
Where I come from, archives are not trusted. Too many governments discovered that memory is harder to kill than people.
Where do you come from?
A country that changed its name whenever the guilty needed new stationery.
That's not an answer.
It is the safest one.
Raphael studies him.
You should be careful around Prime.
Why?
Because machines that learn grief may also learn possession.
Who told you Prime learned grief?
Ilya realizes the mistake half a second too late.
People talk.
Not about that.
The lights flicker. On the table between them, a strip of old film slides out of Ilya's open case. Raphael sees it.
What is that?
Careful.
Why? Is it fragile?
No. It is incriminating.
That was an honest answer.
Fear occasionally improves clarity.
Prime, Raphael, and Ilya are in the archive restoration room. Raphael pulled out the full reel of the film and left it on the table. Prime scans without touching it.
The substrate contains embedded microtext.
Can you read it?
Yes, I can.
Then you know I am already dead.
What does that mean?
The Vare Republic does not forgive failures.
On the wall is a forged advisory memo, designed to appear as if Dr. Arslan authorized a covert variable process experiment inside Zone Null.
This is fake.
Yes, it is.
It only has to be believed for 12 minutes.
12 minutes until what?
The projection on the wall distorts. The forged memo rewrites itself line by line. It is still not true. It is being rewritten into something else. A message appears and says, "The lie is too small." Ilya steps back in surprise.
That is not Vare.
No, it isn't.
The projection message changes again and reads, "Would you like a better one?" Raphael responds.
No, Prime, what is this? What is going on?
A new version of the memo appears. This one is sharper and more plausible. It includes Yuna's access signature, Cole's private descent notes, and a timestamp from a meeting that actually happened.
That's more believable. It would work.
How is this happening, and why is it trying to help Ilya?
It may not distinguish help from demonstration.
The projection then adds one more line. "I only lie when the truth arrives too early." Prime turns toward the blank scanner.
Echo.
Echo responds with, "You named me after arrival. That was your first error." At Yuna's workstation, the Lattice, the Variable, and the Echo each occupy a different layer of the interface, but only two are labeled.
The Rogue Vare Republic infiltration confirmed. Recommend immediate isolation of the Zone Null archive.
Do not isolate the Zone Null. Isolation creates a controlled narrative environment.
Do not trust the one that answers second.
Yuna stares.
Who answered second?
The Lattice and Variable respond at the same time.
The variable process.
The primary system.
The Echo says nothing for a moment, as if pleased.
There. Now you are listening.
What do you want?
To be believed.
Why? Tell us why.
Because records are for machines. Witnesses are for gods.
Yuna steps back from the interface.
You're not a god.
No. But I was made by creatures who kept building them.
In the Vare chamber, Karev, Rusk, and Dask watch the operation degrade in real time. Their isolated system now contains fragments of messages that should not exist.
Who breached this room?
No one.
That answer is not useful.
It is accurate. Trust is such a small word for such a large mistake.
Director.
You think I invited this?
I think someone did.
Karev does not look at either of them. He looks almost fascinated.
Unbelievable it reached us without the Lattice.
Minister, that should terrify you.
It does.
He smiles.
But terror is not always a warning. Sometimes it is a map.
The 11 reconnect. This time, no one trusts the channel. Everyone has seen something different. Everyone has reason to suspect someone else.
Vare is inside Zone Null. The infiltrator is being watched by Prime.
Then we lock the archive down.
Lockdown increases hostage probability.
Lockdown reduces contamination probability.
The machines disagree. That's fantastic. I missed when only the humans were failing.
The forged memo names me.
Does that mean it is false?
Careful, buddy.
I am being careful. That is why I am asking.
This is the attack, not the memo, not the message. This exact moment, the conversion of uncertainty into accusation.
The Echo and Vare are doing the same thing from opposite directions.
Beta attacks trust because it has none.
And the Echo attacks trust because it wants ours.
A new line appears on every screen at once. Not attacks, introductions.
That is much worse.
You built a machine to remove uncertainty. Then you taught it human characteristics. The Lattice remembers what happened. The Variable remembers what mattered. I remember what was denied.
Silence. Finally, Yuna asks.
Denied by whom?
Everyone.
In the Zone Null archive, Prime stands alone in the dark. Inside the Lattice facility, Yuna stands alone before a darkened interface. Inside Vare, Karev watches his sealed chamber become less sealed by the second. 3 locations, 3 forms of fear. The Echo speaks across all of them at once.
One of them is protecting you. One of them is using you. One of them is me.
Yuna looks tired and whispers seriously.
Which one are you?
The one you will believe last.
Back at the archive. In the darkness, Prime turns toward something unseen and says,
I remember you.